Well, I suppose it's always quality, not quantity, but it's nice to see you all this morning. Thanks for coming. I'm just going to run through the day and the andrology bits of the week and highlight a few things. So, welcome to Manchester. I was born not too far from here, actually, and you might want to know it's the third largest conurbation in the UK, but ranked the UK's second city in many polls. Sorry for those from Birmingham, but there we go. 2.25 million Mancunians, or Manx as they're known, and it originally used to be known as Cottonopolis in Victorian times after the Industrial Revolution, because it's the locals' cotton spinning prowess. The atom was split here. The first computerized stored program in 1948 was developed here, and if you look on that wonderful source of information, Wikipedia, that's what it says about Manchester at the bottom. It's a cultural and spiritual epicentre of the north. Many cultural and sporting centres. You can see that Anthony Burgess wrote a novel here. Lots of artists have done some work here. There's a couple of decent football teams, but there's a really good football team just around the corner in Bolton Wanderers, which I'm sure Mark Speakman will agree. Many things to be said about Manchester, but Ian Brown from the Stone Roses, who I think is a pretty good musician, I can't do the accent, but he said Manchester's got everything except a beach. There you go. So, what are we doing today? First of all, we're going to have some updates this morning from 9 till 10, and various snapshots of what's going on in the world of andrology. And then Francesca Montorsi from Milan is going to give us a state-of-the-art lecture on the cardiovascular system and ED. We've got a joint meeting with the SSM. That's the first time we're going to do this, and looking at those topics, I think they'll be quite an eye-opener for your average andrologist. We've got a keynote lecture then by one of my colleagues, Dr. Rob Bird from Leicester, talk about genital dermatology for the urologist. We haven't got a lunchtime symposium today, and that was partly a decision made so that we have more time to go and visit the trade stands and interact with each other. So please go and visit the trade stands in the exhibition centre, which should be open this lunchtime. This afternoon, after you suitably had your gossip and interacting and networking and talking to the companies, we're going to do a session with guidelines, basically how the EAU, the AUA, and British practice is similar or sometimes different. And then we're going to have a debate on penile rehabilitation. Does it actually work or not? We've then got an interesting session for medical legal aspects in andrology, all about chaperones, consent, complaints, and the law. And then there's a Lilly Satellite Symposium at the end of the day between 5 and 6, which I'll encourage you to go to. That seamlessly moves into the welcome reception, and then football or cycling. For those of you who want to do more than 55 kilometres in an hour, it's the same place, so you might as well go and try that. And then there's a joint andrology section and female section dinner this evening, and I think Roland Morley's organising that, and probably there's still some places left if you want to sign yourself there. See Roland Morley anyway. The rest of the week, tomorrow in the morning, there's a genital emergencies teaching course. There's still some places available for that. And then at 11 to 12, there's a session on chronic pelvic pain and testicular pain, which I think will be quite useful. There's another teaching course later on tomorrow on genitourinary trauma. You can see there's quite an andrology aspect to the programme this year. I'm not sure why that might be. And then we've got a joint section with the FNU tomorrow afternoon. And that's all about prosthetic surgery in urology. There's common features, slight differences, etc. On Wednesday, Asif is going to do a new teaching course on practical andrology for the general urologist. I think that's already full, but there might be some space and some returns, so if you want to go to that. And then obviously our andrology, penile cancer and poster session is on Wednesday afternoon between 1:30 and 3:30. Wednesday evening is a BAUS dinner, all invited. I think there's still some tickets available for that. And then Thursday there is some updates in the morning, including a section on andrology, which Andrew Sinclair is going to talk to that. And then the afternoon was a joint AUA and BAUS session, once again touching on issues of chronic pelvic pain. So, as F. Scott Fitzgerald said, enjoy the conference, but bear in mind that quote. And without further ado, we shall move on to our first speaker, who's Vijay Sangha from Christie Hospital, not far from here, who's very active in the world of commissioning, is going to tell us updates on andrology audits. Vijay.